your head on a swivel and never let a devil get behind you. On course to the kingdom, there'll be all forms of evil ahead. So gird up thy loins and take this sword, and may the Lord show us mercy. So be it. Cause alert the earth, a monster fairy tale, he the scared to come near. Try to curb the thirst, the lust of flesh getting worse the more that you bear. War between us and the demons, when they see us flee a fear. Better believe what a priest does, or bleed cause death in the air. I see dead people, devils everywhere through the veil. Night of the living dead, he scheming up evil, destroy people that believe him. Night of the living dead, when I spit a killing, bring you back to living, Lord willing. Night of the living dead, when the sunrise shall not smite me, no by moonlight of the living dead. 'Twas the night, illuminated by the sight of the moon bright, full and right. You inside a fight through the twilights. Lose your life if you seek, out here sleeping at the least. It'll be by a creep, off of the geek, addicted to get a piece. And these Pharisees, vampire desires, living the feast, milking the victims dry, flesh your eyes, hypnotized, blind to see. Turning them beasts, infrared vision with the heat. Pick up a lick enough just to eat. Warm blood in the street, it reek. And these witches make up, they look delicious. Winter smoke get you dizzy, both smells get you for riches. And demons like policemen scheming, watching every move, deceiving. Some of them told to get out of hell and sold they soul. It's cold in the shadows, full of creatures and killers. Just might be on the wrong end of dinner. Fatal feature, nothing real is a thriller. Let's shoot and door to the inner. This nightmare fighting in sleep. Lord allow you wake, hearing exorcism, helping healing dealings of a priest. Cause alert the earth, a monster fairy tale, he the scared to come near. Try to curb the thirst, the lust of flesh getting worse the more that you bear. War between us and the demons, when they see us flee a fear. Better believe what a priest does, or bleed cause death in the air. I see dead people, devils everywhere through the veil. Night of the living dead, he is scheming up evil, destroy people that believe him. Night of the living dead, when I spit a killing, bring you back to living, Lord willing. Night of the living dead, when the sunrise shall not smite me, no by moonlight of the living dead. I'm a priest, warrior day and night time, cutting creeps, witches, Frankensteins, Pharisees like vampires. And I'm watching for demons scheming, plotting, trying to stop my eating. Wanna see me cage beating, bleeding, to see 6 feet leaving, but I ain't sleeping to the early light. Won't fall for the spell of the bite. The witches in flight, they calling on all men, they be gobbling with no causes, mouth running like a faucet. The lone man hating all men, you never learn to shut your jaws, which caught in the fog, them wizards think they lost the ball, and till them devils come across and sending werewolf dogs in. Our steps stay wild on the prowl, it's probably them howling out loud. Night owls be looking at who ain't got nothing to do but get caught up in ruin. But I still prepare to be head, full of sword, cut to shred. Kim and mummies rapping that, cap get left, a bloody mess. Unraveling where it happened at, simply ravishing. Black cats that's crossing my path for aftermath, for taking no heed. Wanting the beast, at least for my brethren, Lord, let me be. Cause alert the earth, a monster fairy tale, he the scared to come near. Try to curb the thirst, the lust of flesh getting worse the more that you bear. War between us and the demons, when they see us flee a fear. Better believe what a priest does, or bleed cause death in the air. I see dead people, devils everywhere through the veil. Night of the living dead, he is scheming up evil, destroy people that believe him. Night of the living dead, when I spit a killing, bring you back to living, Lord willing. Night of the living dead, when the sunrise shall not smite me, no by moonlight. Night of the living dead.
Shalom, 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 Israel. You live with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, Priest and Captain Soccer Wall, holding down a class live from Memphis, Tennessee. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we have classes here in Memphis from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Since 1969, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge has been teaching so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And in the year 2024, there is nothing more important than for God's chosen people to learn the truth of who they are, where they come from, and what their purpose is on the earth. What we like to do with these classes is give brothers and sisters an opportunity to go into this book called the Bible to gain the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that the Most High has placed inside this book in order for us to be able to come back to being the people He called us to be and to reclaim our righteous place on the earth as kings, priests, princesses, and daughters of Zion. With that being said, the school is located here in Memphis at 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. Again, 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. The call-in number to the school is 901-249-0085. Again, 901-249-0085 is the call-in number. You brothers and sisters tuning in, if you have family, loved ones, people you care about in the Memphis, Tennessee, and surrounding areas, get them in contact with the ISUPK. Normally like to start these classes off with questions. If any of your brothers and sisters in the classroom have any questions, all you have to do is raise your hand and the teacher will call on you. If you have any questions online, all you have to do is type them in. If brothers and sisters have no questions tonight, the topic we're going to go into is the signs of the times. All right, the signs of the times. And I wanted to teach this class tonight because this is officially the first day of spring. Started March 3rd, March 20th, 2024. Or according to Esau's calendar, March spring began at sundown yesterday. Sundown on the 19th started the spring. And this is an eventful spring in terms of some of the happenings that's going on the earth. Weather-wise, there's some events that's taking place that rarely occur in the earth at the same time. And you're going to be hearing a lot of things on the news, depending on where you live in the world. There's going to be things that you're witnessing in your environment that's a little different than what normally you may experience in the springtime. And I felt like it was necessary to teach this class because anytime the types of events occur the way that they're occurring this spring, people who are not knowledgeable about the Bible or not knowledgeable about the truth of God like to correlate things happening in the earth with signs of the times or signs of, we're getting closer to biblical prophecies being revealed. And I wanted to teach this class to make sure that brothers understand what the Bible means when it talks about um, the signs of the times. All right. So, what are the events that's occurring in the world that I'm discussing in relation to this topic? Here in America, if you live in the Western Hemisphere, we are going to experience what is known as a solar eclipse, beginning, I believe, today, tomorrow, and Friday, or I think it's going to occur midday Thursday. I want to pull up a video just to give you all a little bit of that. Hold on. Let me see something. So not only is there going to be a solar eclipse coming up tomorrow, there's also going to be the reemergence of the cicadas. All right. Some of you, depending on how old you are, you may know about the cicadas. You may not know about the cicadas, right? But what is coinciding around the same time uh, beginning tomorrow is going to be a solar eclipse, which is also coinciding with the emergence of the cicadas. Trying to find a video. I should have prepared this before the class, but I'm trying to find a video that is going to break this thing down for brothers and sisters so that you can understand. Okay, I'll try to find a video that's going to break it down for you. And then I want to go into the scriptures to explain to you what these things that are occurring in nature are going to be is not at all to biblical prophecy. All right, so here's the video. I don't know if this video is even going to break it down the way that I want to, but I'm gonna go ahead and play the video, and then I'll come back and we'll get into the scriptures after this. All right. So let me get bear with me. Share the screen. Pull this up. Share audio. Let's do that. All right. And then we're going to. All right, so we're gonna watch this video, and I'll be right back, y'all.
Single person on this earth that has ever seen an event like we are going to see on April 8th of 2024. This is the path that it will take, and these are the times that you'll be able to see it. Totality is going to last about 4 minutes and 35 seconds in some places. Now, compared to the total solar eclipse that we had in 2017, that one lasted about 2 minutes and 43 seconds in some areas, so we're doubling that time this year. That's why it's something that no one has ever seen before. It's going to last for a long time compared to other total solar eclipses. The last one that was even close to this happened back in the 1800s. In a month, we are going to have two broods of cicadas come up from under the ground. Now, these two broods have not converged in over 200 years. And look at this map. See the light blue and the dark brown right there converging in Illinois? Yeah, that's the same spot where our two paths converge as well, Southern Illinois. So, yeah, no one on Earth has ever seen an event like coming next month. We are going to have a total solar eclipse that lasts damn near 5 minutes in some areas, and then we're going to have millions of cicadas that have been underground for either 13 or 18 years, all coming up at the same time, and they have not done that in over 200 years. So, if you are over 200 years old, DM me. But if not, no one on this earth has seen like what's coming on April 8th.
So there you go, right there. That's a quick video explaining what is coming April 8th. All right, on April 8th, in certain parts of the country, there's going to be a solar eclipse that lasts for about 4.5 to 5 minutes. What is a solar eclipse? A solar eclipse, how as it is explained by Esau, by our oppressor science, is when the Earth is moving around the moon, is moving around the sun, and the moon is moving around the Earth. But the solar eclipse occurs when the moon gets perfectly in between the sun and the Earth. So let's say this is the Earth, right? And this is this lion head here is the sun, right? The Earth is going around the sun, and at the same time, the moon is going around the Earth. So as the sun is going around as the Earth is going around the sun, and the moon is going around the Earth, a solar eclipse occurs when the moon is in position between the sun and the Earth, and the moon blocks out the sun for a period of time. Now, these solar eclipses occur periodically, just based off of the rotation of the moon of the Earth around the sun, right? So, if you have some things that's rotating in at different intervals around each other, eventually you're going to have a point where things line up and you get a solar eclipse. Solar eclipses and these things that happen in the sky have always been um, signs of great happenings in the earth for people of many cultures and many civilizations across hundreds of years and thousands of generations on the earth. It's always been, oh my God, look at what's happening in the sky. This is amazing. Surely something special is happening. You add on top of that the returning of the cicadas, which growing up as a kid in the Northeast, the cicadas was something that was like, I just remember being an absolutely horrible time as a kid. I remember when I was very young, they first popped out, and it's a lot of big ass nasty bugs. They loud as hell. They get on trees and on the side of houses, and they shed their skin. You know what I'm saying? It's like a butterfly, it's like a caterpillar. A caterpillar gets into a cocoon and then busts out and it's a butterfly. Where a cicada is like a nasty ass crawling bug. Then it sheds it, it goes into whatever that shit is, and it come out a big nasty ass fly, and it leave the shell of itself wherever the hell it was at. So not only do you got the loud buzzing and these damn things flying all over the place, but then you got these nasty ass shells that get left everywhere. You step on them and they crunch, and it's a nasty sound. Well, that's happening at the same time as a solar eclipse. And people who are unlearned and unaware of science and these things that are happening are going to think, oh my God, these are signs of the times. America's falling, the world is coming to an end. God and Jesus is on his way. If you have knowledge and wisdom and understanding, if you understand truth about God and the truth about biblical prophecy and the signs of the times, you won't allow these occurrences of nature to cause you to be spooked. So that's what this class is about. We know it's coming. We know it's happening. We know that it is a natural process that occurs periodically on the earth. Anybody who's been alive for a certain amount of years, we've all seen the cicadas come out the ground, do their thing, and go back in. You've been on the earth, hell, 7 years ago, there was a solar eclipse that lasted for 2.5 minutes. I remember Donald Trump, dumbass, looked up at his sun. Now, the one thing I remember about being a kid is that you cannot look at a solar eclipse. When the moon blocks the sun and then comes back out, you can't look at it because it'll blind you. I remember being afraid as a kid to look at it because it'll blind you. I remember it was a movie. Man, it was a movie. I don't know if it was called Cabin Fever or Misery, but there's a movie where there's a solar eclipse in the movie, and I think somebody looks up into the sun and gets blinded. And I know that movie traumatized me as a kid, so I've never actually seen a solar eclipse because I always was afraid that I would lose my eyesight. Right? I can't think of the name of that movie, but there's been other features and there's other movies where they've always painted solar eclipses to be like these, momentously spiritual occurrences. I think I'm gonna try to pull up a scene from another movie that talked about it. Let me get bear with me, hold on, y'all. Let me see. Let me see something. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna pull up this movie and pull this up for y'all. Now, of course, this is propaganda from our oppressor, but who knows whether or not this is something that's real. I ain't never gone back and did no science or no research or no looking into it. But there's a great scene in this movie where they're depicting uh, they're depicting human sacrifices during the days of the Incan Empire down there in the Gulf of Mexico, down there in what they call the no, not the Iberian Peninsula. Man, there's right there where Guatemala is, south of Mexico. There's a peninsula. Forget what they call it, but the Incan Empire was located right there in Guatemala, in the crux of the Gulf of Mexico. So the Gulf of Mexico is the body of water that sits south of Texas, south of Louisiana and Alabama, and it wraps around to the east coast of Mexico and the northeast coast of Guatemala. They call that area of Guatemala, it's a peninsula, but I forget the name of it. That's where the Incan Empire was located. There's a movie called Apocalypto, where in the movie Apocalypto, Esau, our oppressor, depicts what he imagines was going on um, during the days of the Incan Empire, leading up to the arrival of the Spanish conquistadors. So this whole movie is showing. It's supposed to be showing the culture and the way of life, and the depicting the different empires and slavery and things like that was going on prior to Europeans arriving in America. Now, of course, this movie is a gross caricature of those people and how they were living and some of the things they were doing, because our oppressor can only portray the lives of the people on this side of the world prior to encountering Europeans as they were savages and murderers and killers, and they're silly and foolish and they believe in silly things. Which is why in this scene we're about to see, they're going to show a solar eclipse and you're going to see the people's reaction to it as though this is some amazing, wonderful sign from God. And while watching the movie, we may think this is silly, this is goofy. Showing up, surely they're mocking these people. The reality is, even today, with all of the knowledge and the technology and the information that's available to us, these things happening in the sky still signify to a lot of people that something spiritual is happening, that something amazing and life altering and paradigm shifting is occurring on the earth. When if you have knowledge of God and the truth of God as it is written in the Bible, you will know these things are not signs for us to marvel at. All right. So I'm gonna show this one sign. I'm gonna show the scene from the movie Apocalypto, and then we're gonna go ahead and continue with the breakdown. I'm gonna go ahead and get into these scriptures. All right. If anybody has any comments about the eclipse, about the cicadas, if there's anything you've been hearing from people in the world or that you've been seeing on the news, if you have any questions about these things and why they occur and are they spiritual, is it something that God wants us to take from it? Ask that. It's nothing wrong with not being sure. There's nothing wrong with seeing these things and being amazed by them and wondering, damn man, that's crazy. Why are these things lining up at this time? I don't want anybody to feel foolish for believing or thinking these things. But it's important to understand what the Bible says about them so that you can have an understanding from God's perspective what these things mean and what they symbolize for us. Okay. Let me go ahead and pull this up for y'all so we can watch this scene. All right. This is from the movie Apocalypto, depicting a solar eclipse. Uh, During a certain period of time, these people was living on the earth. All right. Let me go ahead and show that to y'all. Boom. All right, here we go. So again, that's a scene from the movie Apocalypto depicting a solar eclipse. And while you may watch that and you look at the people and how they're amazed at this thing and they're all in awe and they're pointing, and when the sun is blocked in the midst of the eclipse, while the moon is blocking the sun, the the preacher gets up there and says something in whatever language they speaking, and all the people are amazed and oh my God, and oh, this is so crazy. That's gonna be people on April 8th in 2024. They're gonna see the sun blocked in the sky by the moon, And right now, you go on YouTube, just type up solar eclipse. There's preachers and spiritual leaders and people telling you, oh, God is going to move on the earth. And when the sun blocks out the sky and the cicadas come out of the ground, it's God trying to show us and tell us this and that. And if you don't have knowledge and understanding, you can easily be misled. You can easily be tricked into believing something to be true that is not true. And we're not far removed from the times of the Incan Empire, where people didn't have any knowledge and understanding. The sun block out the moon block out the sun, and the preacher says, something, and the people go crazy about it. You may think that that's something from a time in the past. That's something that people long ago believed because they didn't have any knowledge, but it's still a very real thing on the earth today. And because it's a very real thing on the earth today, we should not allow ourselves to be deceived into believing that the world we live in today is so far advanced from what it was 400 years ago, 200 years ago, 50 years ago, 10 years ago. With all the technology and with all the information that's readily available to us, a lot of people are still blind. A lot of people are still ignorant. A lot of people are still caught up in believing in signs and wonders and amazing things that they don't understand because they lack spiritual knowledge. They lack understanding of the Most High and of the way we're supposed to be living our lives. And a lot of people are suffering because of their lack of understanding. And so anything that happens could trigger them into believing a change is coming. This is the sign I got to get my life together. This is the time that I can do better and do more and change the world, because they're living a life that is so void of any real spiritual nourishment. Everybody understands? So we're going to go ahead and get into the scriptures on this breakdown for tonight. Again, if any questions you have out there, ask them concerning this topic. But I wanted to make sure that brothers and sisters had an understanding biblically of what the signs of the times are that we should be looking for, and what should we do and how should we receive natural occurring events like solar eclipses and the return of the cicadas. All right. So the first scripture we're going to go to is Matthew chapter 16, verse 1. And I need brothers and sisters to understand that for some people, it takes a solar eclipse for them to think about the fragility of their life. It takes things like the cicadas returning and there being three different groups of cicadas coming out the ground at one time for people to look up and be like, yo, man, we live in a crazy world. It takes, oftentimes horrible, scary things to happen for people to consider their life and the way that they're living. And don't look at those people as though they were silly and foolish, because at one time you were there, you was them. I'm gonna be straight up with y'all. It took me witnessing someone lose their life for me to really consider how reckless my life, the life I was living, was when I was a young man in the world. I recently told my real story. I was about 19 years old, and I watched a man lose his life. It was a shooting that occurred. I didn't know a shooting. I knew a shooting had occurred. I didn't know where it was or who it was that get shot. I was in the neighborhood. I didn't even know. But as I was going to leave the neighborhood, I saw a man lying face down in the street, leaking blood. Right, and as you do, as you're taught to do in the streets, I don't know this guy. I don't know who shot him. It ain't my business. I'm just trying to get home. But something told me to stop, and I stopped and I got out to check on the brother. It was a horrible situation, but I sat there for 30 minutes with this cat and watched him take his last breaths, and watched life leave out of his body. And I waited there till the ambulance came. I seen them try to work on him and revive him. I gave a statement to the police. Of course, I hadn't witnessed anything, but I told them what I saw, what I heard, how I sat there with the cat, called 911, and watched it as he died. But I remember seeing that brother lose his life impacted me, because in the moments that he was taking his last breath, I had a thought in my mind that this was somebody's brother, this was somebody's son, this is somebody's father, maybe somebody's uncle, somebody's cousin. And here he was, face down in the streets, bleeding to death with some stranger standing over him, not even willing to put a pressure to his wounds because I don't know this nigga. He might could have AIDS or something. And it was just a horrible thing. And it was like, damn, life is so precious, man. You live your life and then you shot and you die in the streets. And nobody knows, nobody's there. Nobody who loves you is there to comfort you or console you or tell you it's going to be all right. You just die. And I remember waiting and watching the news the next couple of days to see if there was any report or any story about this man who died. And maybe I'd find the brother's name. And there was nothing. Nothing on the TV about it, nothing on the radio. I don't think I checked the newspaper, but I just remember how horrible and small of a feeling it was to know that this cat lost his life, bro. Nobody gave a damn. Nobody cared. Not even me. As I watched him die, I said a prayer for him, but like, that's it. He's gone. And he's never going to see his family again. Nobody's ever going to hug him and kiss him. And that's just it. That event is what shocked me into I'm really playing out here in these streets. Like, I'm hanging around niggas who I know is hustling, who I know is robbing niggas, who I know is killing and into this and that. I'm riding these niggas around in my car. I'm going to the club with these cats. I'm out places in public with cats who I know are known in the streets for doing certain things. Why am I playing like this? It took that for me to get serious about how I wanted to live my life and how I didn't want my life to end. For some people, it takes something like that. For other people, it's having a drug overdose or seeing somebody you know lose their life in the streets or go to prison for a long time behind some BS. For other people, it's a lunar eclipse. It's the return of the cicadas. And so people responding and reacting to these things doesn't make them foolish or silly, but it can be the effects of lacking a true spiritual understanding or true knowledge of God. So I don't want brothers and sisters in the truth or who have family and loved ones who don't know about the truth to be caught off guard by these things. It's important that we talk about them and acknowledge them and understand what, if any, implications they have. All right. So this is Matthew chapter 16, starting at verse 1. These are the words of our King Christ in the days that he came and spoke before his disciples and the Pharisees and Sadducees concerning requests that were being made of him to show the people a sign. Everybody understand? It's Matthew chapter 16, verse 1 says, the Pharisees also with the Sadducees came and tempting desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven. You understand? They wanted Christ to show them something in the sky, something in the heaven that signified that he was sent from the Lord. Show us something amazing. Show us something that we haven't seen. Show us something that would shock us. Right? Verse 2. He answered and said unto them, when it is evening, you say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning, it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times? Meaning what? These men knew the weather. They knew how to read the sky to know if today was going to be a good day, if the weather was going to be fair, or if it was going to be, if the storm was on the horizon. They were adept and well equipped to be able to read the sky to understand the weather. But y'all asking me to show you a sign? The signs of the times are not in the heavens. The signs of the times are not in the sky. The signs of the times are things that you witness happening on the earth amongst people. You understand? There is no great sign that's going to come out of the sky to let people know that it's time to get themselves right with God. There's not going to be a great sign in the sky that's going to scare people into getting serious about cleaning themselves up, getting off of drugs, stop not eating pork, no longer being whores and men being whoremongers or using women and throwing them away. There's not going to be a sign in the sky that's going to cause black men to stop committing violence against one another, or stop committing crimes in our oppressive system and giving their lives to the prison. It's foolish to think that something happening in the sky is going to cause people to say, you know what, man, I need to do what God said to do. I need to obey the Most High. That's not how this works. There is not a sign that we are waiting for to let us know that we got to get serious with God. The sign of the times are the signs of the things that are happening on the earth, happening in your life. For me, coming into the truth, I knew that it was time for me to give my life to the Most High, because nothing that I was doing in life worked. None of the things that I tried to do to make my life better or to be the man that I thought I was supposed to be could satisfy me, could make me happy, could make me feel fulfilled in life. Hell, none of the things that I set my mind to do, I was able to do them. In the world, I thought I had a plan for my life. I thought I had a career path laid ahead of me. But I failed at that. I failed at everything I tried to do in the world. And the emptiness I felt of having potential but never really getting nothing done was unbearable. I could no longer be that man. I was miserable and consumed with just being a failure. That's what drove me into the truth. It didn't take something amazing in the sky happening or things happening in the world. I came into the truth right after the bubble burst in 2008 and the economy fell and all the housing crisis and all that stuff was going on. Those things didn't scare me to coming into the truth. It wasn't like, oh man, the economy's bad, I need to give my life to the Lord. It was the signs of, I'm horrible at this life thing. I'm a failure. And nothing I'm doing is working. None of the things that I think is going to give me the fulfillment and the satisfaction that I'm searching for is coming to fruition. Maybe I need to stop running from the Most High. Maybe I need to just give my life to Him. And that's when I came into the truth. When I came into the truth, I had to make a lot of sacrifices. But those sacrifices is what has paved it opened up a path for me that I've been on for the last 13 years, that has given me that fulfillment, that has given me that confirmation that I'm doing what I was meant to do. But it wasn't because of something happening in the stars or in the sky that convinced me that now was the time to change. Everybody understand? This is Matthew 16:4. A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. And he left them and departed. Christ said, there will be no sign, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. What was the sign of the prophet Jonas? Jonas is Jonah in the Old Testament. What was the sign of the times from Jonah? Jonah went out to the people of Nineveh and prophesied God was going to destroy them in 40 days if they didn't get themselves together, if they didn't repent for their evil, if they did not plead with God to forgive them and to not destroy them, then the city would have been destroyed. That's the only sign of the times that the people are going to receive, is men of God warning them, the Lord going to destroy this place, man. The Most High is about to move on this earth. And we see it happening all around us. We see more and more the wars and the rumors of wars. America is almost at full out civil war. With this Donald Trump and this Joe Biden election that's coming up now, of course, this is every 4 years, America's at the brink of civil war. But every 4 years, it's progressively worse and we're progressively closer to that time. Those are the signs of the times. You understand? There's a lot of people in the earth right now who are experiencing what I felt before I came into the truth, where nothing you trying to do is working. You go to work and you work your job and you pay your bills. You try to be a good husband and be a good father. You try to be a good wife and be a good mother. You trying to be a good kid and go to school and you do your schoolwork and you getting grades you're supposed to get, but there's nothing that you get in return. You busting your head on this job trying to get ahead, busting your head in college trying to get this degree. You get the degree, now you $200,000 in debt and can't never get out of it. You work in this job, get that raise, but you still can't stop living check to check. You got that woman, you're doing everything that you think that you're supposed to do to make her happy. She ain't satisfied. You're miserable, you're depressed, you're losing interest in things that used to bring you satisfaction, and you just don't know where to go in life, those are the signs of the times for you. The Lord is trying to show you that these things that you are doing are not going to fulfill you. This life that you're living is never going to bring you satisfaction. What should you do? You should turn and give your life to Him. You should seek out what your purpose is. Seek out why you were put on this earth, because clearly this is not the reason why. Sister Kapadiza.
You actually, I think you just answered the question. So I was just about to just ask. So that's how. Would that be like an indication of pushing you into the direction you need to go?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. See, we have a lot of people have a misconception of this power of their mind.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of talk nowadays about mental health, about anxiety and depression and bipolar disorder and all these things. And there's a lot of times our oppressor is just pushing medicine on people, pushing medicine to heal you or to help you. But oftentimes they don't push problem solving.
Yeah.
They don't actually tell you you should address some of these issues and these problems you have.
Right.
Maybe you have anxiety because of this. Maybe your depression is a result of you living this way, your lifestyle and this and that.
Right.
The Lord gives us those troubles in order for us to have to learn how to fight to overcome them. Depression is not something that's new in the earth. Anxiety is not something new in the earth. Battling with the trauma that comes from being sexually abused or molested is not something that's new on the earth.
Right.
People for thousands of years have struggled and fought with these spiritual ailments. They're demons. They have a spiritual nature to them. But what the society is missing is the knowledge and the understanding that you have to fight these things spiritually.
Yeah.
You have to, in order to overcome depression, you have to get to the root of the depression. What is causing you to be depressed?
Right.
And how can you mentally fight the depression? One of the things the truth taught me when I came into the truth, I was taught that life is about war.
Mm-hmm.
That there's nothing that you're going to accomplish in life that doesn't come without fighting, right? Without having to be brave and be courageous and to stand and face your fears. A lot of people live life running away from the things they're afraid of. A lot of us are afraid of facing our childhood. We're afraid of facing those traumas that we push to the back of our brain. We're afraid of facing the reality of our families and the community we were raised in. So we run from it, not realizing that running from it is never going to solve it. That's why you never stop being depressed. That's why you never can get control of your mood swings or your bipolar disorder, or you never can get control over your reactions and responses to different triggers, because you haven't addressed the root cause. You haven't really dealt with the problem because you've been running from it. Maybe God is trying to get you to deal with these things so that you can progress in life and be who you're meant to be. That's what coming into the truth is about. That's what learning this knowledge is about, is giving you the power to be able to fight. But a lot of people never learn that they have to fight. Instead, they just become a victim of their depression, a victim of their childhood trauma, a victim of the horrible family they grew up in, a victim of the neglect and the abandonment and all these things that are common to so many of us. We never learn to fight them because we're looking for a sign. We're waiting for some amazing thing to transform our lives, when really being depressed every day is God trying to transform your life. You can't move forward unless you overcome this depression. What you going to do about it? You have to actively decide that you're going to fight your depression. I'm not going to let it conquer me. How can you escape your childhood? You can't go back and relive it. So guess what? One day you're going to have to face the horrible things that happened to you as a child. And then you decide, these horrible things that happened to me, am I going to let them continue to shape me? Am I going to let them continue to dictate my behavior? Or am I going to be better than what happened to me in my childhood? Am I going to fight against these things and recognize the effect they've had on me and say, I don't want to live my life this way anymore? How could you ever get to that point if it wasn't for the depression? If it wasn't for the bipolar, if it wasn't for the emotional triggers? You understand? Those are the signs that we should be looking for. You understand? A lot of the times we recognize that we need to focus on those things because of the sign of the prophet Jonah. I know for a fact that so many of the things that I fought in my life in the world, I would have never been able to have the strength to be able to fight them or to acknowledge them if it wasn't for me hearing the brothers teach out there on the street. If it wasn't for me seeing, of I always say the way I came into the truth, or the thing that started me searching for the truth, was a video some fake Israelites made about the curses. It was like a 2-hour documentary about the curses in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. And as I sat and watched that video about the curses, I recognized that all these things that is written in the Bible is talking about black people. Like, we're the people who are suffering these punishments and these consequences. And what I remember sticking out of my mind was, if God said these things would happen to us if we disobeyed him, then the solution is we have to obey him. Well, where do I go to learn that? Because they wasn't teaching that in church. I learned about Deuteronomy 28 about a whole year before I found the truth. But I knew then there's got to be a way. There's got to be someone out there who's teaching how to obey God. And that's why my journey through Christianity, my journey through Islam, my journey through the the 5%ers and the Nuwapians and all these different beliefs, the Egyptologists, I was able to avoid getting caught in any of them traps, because what I was searching for was the answers of how do I overcome my depression? How do I overcome my, self-loathing? How do I overcome these things that I know I can't keep living like this? Right. It wasn't until I found the truth that I was given the answers. Everybody understand? Okay. So the signs that we should be looking for is not things happening in the sky. The signs we should be looking for are the things that are occurring in our lives that cause us to have to change, cause us to have to evaluate ourselves, and cause us to have to search for a way to be better. Everybody understands? It's Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1. This is directly related to the solar eclipse. Again, on April 8th. And again, I'm telling y'all right now, I'm going to be out there looking up. I want to see it. I'm going to be out there. I'm going to go buy them. Kapata's, when she was online, said that, what is it, 7 years ago, they was telling people to buy them glasses to look up at the solar eclipse, right? Yeah. Well, I missed it. I'm going to go out. I'm going to buy them goddamn glasses. I'm going to go up there. I'm going to look in the sky, and I'm going to be like, damn, that shit looks crazy. But there are people who are going to observe it and believe that this is God talking to them. And there are pastors and preachers who are already trying to take advantage of that by telling people, there's already people that are pastors online telling people that this is a sign from God, that this is something that they should observe and understand and know that God is talking to them. So, like, if I could get Canada Dry, and if I could, a cup of some ice, yeah. All right, so it's important that brothers and sisters understand that this is not God talking to you. This is not how the Most High speaks to people on the earth. This is not how he gets their attention and warns them of the impending doom or the things that are to come in the near future. I know the cicadas are scary and it's going to be loud and it's going to be, crazy in a lot of places. I know you're going to see the solar eclipse and you're going to hear all kinds of things on the news and it's going to be amazing. But hear what God said concerning these things in the Bible. This is Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1. Jeremiah 10 and 1 says, hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. It's the Most High speaking to so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, speaking to the 12 tribes of Israel. Everybody understands? Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. The Most High said, don't learn the way of the heathen. You understand? Don't learn the ways of these people who don't have the knowledge of God, of these people who don't understand the life that we are living and understand the knowledge that we've been given. You understand? And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Don't be dismayed. What does it mean to be dismayed? Let's look at the definition of the word dismayed. All right? See exactly what it is that the Lord is telling us. Let's get it. All right? Dismayed. Definition is experiencing or showing feelings of alarmed concern or dismay, being upset, worried, or agitated because of some unwelcome situation or occurrence. Everybody understands. Don't show feelings of alarm and concern or dismay because of something happening that makes you feel uneasy or unsure. Many people going to step outside on April 8th, see that the sun is blocked in the sky by the moon for 4.5 minutes, and there's gonna be some numerologist person that's gonna say, let's say the eclipse lasts for 4 minutes and 38 seconds. 438 gonna be a thing for the next 5 years. Like this 11/11. I keep seeing people post 11/11 on their Facebook and Instagram stories, and they think 11/11 means something. I don't know the history. I don't know the breakdown, but nigga, you looking at the clock at 11/11 ain't special. It ain't spiritual. It ain't magic. 11/11 happens twice every fucking day. Excuse my language. Every fucking day, excuse my language, the clock hits 11/11. Once in the AM, once in the PM. Maybe you're training yourself to look at your phone at 11/11. It ain't magic. It ain't, oh, the spirit talk to me. And it's like you set an alarm, right? Set an alarm. I got an alarm that goes off at 6:15 every day, no matter what. This 6:15 alarm has been on my phone for years, right? Because of other situations I had in my life. This 6:15 alarm on my phone, sometimes if I'm asleep during the day, I'll wake up at 6:13. I'll wake up at 6:14. I'll wake up right before the alarm goes off. It ain't magic. It ain't, oh, the spirit spoke to me and the God woke me up. Nigga, my body is trained to wake up with the alarm. So maybe my brain kicks in a minute or two before. It ain't magic. It ain't, looking at your phone at 11/11 and screenshotting it and sharing it on the internet has to be the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life. You think that's special? You think that's something magical, something spiritual, something talking to you that makes you screenshot at 11/11? Nigga, that shit ain't magic. You trained yourself during the day, in the middle of it's 2 hours after you clock in. If you clock in at 9 o'clock, after 2 hours, you're looking at your watch. I go to work every night. I look at my watch after 2 hours and be like, it's about 10:30. I ain't get to my area. I get ready for pre-work. It ain't magic. 10:30 ain't 10:25 or 10:23 ain't a magic time. It's your body saying, hey, I'm supposed to be in a certain place around this time. Well, what time is it? That feeling of what time is it ain't magic. You're trained to look up and say, oh, I gotta be somewhere. I gotta be doing something. So for you to be at 11/11, oh God, come on, man. Don't be dismayed at things like that. Don't be awed and shocked. It ain't magic. You meet some girl, she pretty. Oh, she looking good. Damn, call it, talk to her. Hey, what's up, miss? How you doing? What's your name? I'm so and so, such and such. Man, you looking pretty today. I just wanted to say, you know what I'm saying? You look nice. What you having, a drink or something? Say, what you drinking on? Okay, I'm having what the lady having. We start a conversation, bobbity bop. The bitch say, what's your sign? I'm a Leo. Oh, so that means you something, something, such and such. Bitch, the day that I was born has nothing to do with being the man that I am. Whole time, bitch, I'm not even really this guy. I'm just talking to you this way because I'm trying to impress you, ho. I know what you like. I know what gets a woman like you. Being assertive and being dominant and being masculine. And this me being a Leo ain't got nothing to do with that shit. But to this woman, oh yeah, he's dominant and assertive and he's a leader. So yeah, him being a Leo means so much. Yeah, maybe you just like men. Maybe you like manly men. Maybe me being a Leo ain't got nothing to do with it. Or we having a good conversation and you tell me you're a Scorpio, and that's like, oh, she extra freak. Maybe she just likes maybe she just maybe she's just bubbly and happy and flirty with someone who she likes, somebody who talks to her nice. Her being a Scorpio ain't got nothing to do with it. You're living a silly life being dismayed at the signs of heaven. That's what this scripture is about. It's not about just the solar eclipse. It's about the time of the day. It's 11:11. It's oh, she's a Scorpio, or he's a Leo, or he's a Gemini. I'm about to have a daughter. Folks keep asking me, when's the due date? When's the due date? I tell them it's May 21st, May 4th, 24th. Oh, she gonna be a Gemini. I should be wanting to be like, so the fuck what? Excuse my language. So what? She a Gemini. You got to be careful with them. They be two-sided. They be this. Shut up. Shut up. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Who cares? But they are dismayed by it. They is, oh man, you have your hands full. You got you, and apparently May Geminis is different than June Geminis. If she was a June Gemini, then it would be something, something, something. But you got a May Gemini on you. Shut up. You shut up with your goofy, silly, superstitious bullshit. Excuse my language. I'm not dismayed at that. I'm not, it's not throwing me off. I'm not going to be, oh, she's a Gemini. The Lord warned us against these things. Arm yourself with some knowledge. Arm yourself with some understanding about real things so that you're not dismayed at the signs of heaven like the heathens are dismayed. Everybody understands. And it's necessary for you to understand this because the earth is still in the same condition. I know we like to think that we're living in advanced times because of technology and all. We are not. People have not changed. People are just as superstitious and silly and amazed at things in the sky as they were 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. On April 8th, you're absolutely going to meet somebody, encounter somebody who says, yeah, man, that eclipse, man, that was heavy, man. That eclipse, that's crazy, man. I ain't never seen nothing like that in my life. Man, you got to get yourself together, man. We living in the times. And I meet a lot of people that talk about the times we living in, the times, and the world is wild. And I think I'm going to start asking people, what you going to do about it? Yeah, I saw the eclipse. It was crazy, but what you going to do about it? What does that mean for you? You gonna stop smoking weed? Oh no, you ain't stop smoking weed. Okay, you gonna leave the hoes alone? Oh no, you ain't gonna leave the hoes alone. Okay, you gonna you take care of your kids and stop being an evil. You ain't gonna take care of your kids. Okay. So what the hell? Who cares about the sky? Who cares about the sun and the moon blocking the sun? Any of that? Why does that matter? If you're not gonna change any of the things that you've been doing, because if you really was amazed by it, if it really meant something to you, then you would fix yourself. And I don't think enough people have a true understanding of what it means to be spiritual. I hear a lot of people use that term in lieu of being religious. People have replaced I believe in God or I have a religion with I'm spiritual. But what does that even mean that you're spiritual? Like, well, I'm going to keep reading these scriptures. And as we get into these scriptures, it's important to understand that, again, we're living in a time where people are void of any nourishment of their spirit. They're so void of anybody pouring into them real knowledge and giving them real wisdom and giving them real guidance of the Most High that they believe anything is God and everything is God. I watched this video the other day on TikTok of a cat who made like a copper crown. He made a crown, right? And he wound okay. Yeah. Anybody who knows anything about magnetism or electricity, there's certain scientific occurrences that are just natural on the earth. If you take a copper wire and you coil that copper wire around a metal stick, right? You take copper, or you just take the copper, you coil the copper up, right? Coil the copper up, put it in a circle, So it makes a ring, and then you lay it on a conductive surface. Let's say it's a copper surface, and then you build you build a structure in the midst of that copper circle, and place something metallic on that structure. The copper that's coiled up and wrapped in a circle creates an electromagnetic field. So any metal that you would put in the middle of that is reactive to copper, it's going to move, or it's going to vibrate, it's going to shake. That's science. That's just nature. This nigga made a crown and put a coil of copper on it, and put a metal thing on a pyramid in the middle of the thing, and the little metal thing was vibrating. The nigga was like, "Oh, I feel the energy, the energy surging through the crown. Yeah, I'm activating my third eye." Nigga, you just put a magnet on your head. That's all you did, and the magnet on your head ain't. And people, okay, they were. He had some device that could recognize magnetism, and he was holding the device, saying, "Look, y'all, it's beeping. Look, it's meant like, nigga, that's not like, okay. It's special to you because you don't know, you don't have the knowledge of these things. But for somebody who has knowledge like me and Osh, we know how electricity works. Nigga, you just made a miniature transformer on your head, and the energy is surging off the transformer, but that ain't cleansing your. There was people like, oh, it's vibrating at 66 megahertz. That's the healing. Was the healing frequency, and it's like, okay, all right. I guess the crown is going to heal him now. I guess he's going to never develop cancer, never be. He's a fat guy, so I guess he'll never be obese. He'll never have high blood pressure because of this electromagnetic crown that he made and put on his head. Oh, we should all get electromagnetic crowns. You nigga, do you think that if electromagnetic crowns could heal all illness in the body, we wouldn't have already figured that out and be wearing electromagnetic crowns? What kind of world would this be if all you had to do was build a transformer on your head, and now you ain't got to worry about ever being sick? That those things aren't real. That's not how life works. Now, it's science. It could be technological. Maybe you could utilize that to find out how to move. I know there's a lot of talk about how the pyramids was built. Now, I have seen documentaries. I think I have an understanding of how the pyramids was built. And it wasn't magic. It was just architecture. You start with a base, you level it out a certain space, and then you melt you build molds and melt the goddamn. You take the ingredients of what your building materials, you melt them down into the mold, take the mold off, slide it over to the next slot, and you can duplicate the brick you just made here. It could be a 5-ton brick, but you take the mold off, that 5-ton brick is in place. You move the mold to the next space and make another 5-ton brick. There's a whole documentary on how the pyramids was built. And guess what? It wasn't magic. It wasn't levitating, giant blocks from the quarry that was 20 miles away down the river and bringing them upstream. It wasn't magic, man. It was, they had giant magnifying glasses that could melt down. You hold the giant magnifying glass or the lens at a certain angle in the sun, it'll cut right through quartz. It'll cut right through limestone. It'll cut right through marble. They melted down the fucking marble with the giant lens. They transported it while it was fucking liquid, and then they got it in the position where they wanted to put these bricks. They had the mold there. They turned the lens to the goddamn sun. The sun melted the damn whatever the ingredients was that they mixed together, and then they poured it into the mold and made a giant brick. Then they let it sit and harden outside of the lens. Then they took the mold off, slid down to the next brick, and did the same thing. If you get, 200, I've been on construction sites. Nigga, they have 500 niggas working on this building. Sure, we're going to build the building in a year, 2 years. I've been on construction projects. It's 250 niggas working every day, 8 hours a day, sometimes 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, 7 days a week. Of course, after 6 months, we'd get a foundation built. Of course, after a year, you see the steel beams going up 13 floors. Of course, after 18 months, they got the outside walls put up on the building, and now we on the inside, putting up the damn frames, following the floor plans and putting up the frames and the metal studs, pulling the MC through the goddamn things and putting plugs in place. Shit, after 2 years, the walls start to go up on the inside. Now they painting, and there's niggas up there with drywall, and the plumbers is up there hanging their pipes. After 2.5 years, the building is opening now. It wasn't magic. Niggas showing up and going to work. That's how the pyramids was built. There was architects, there was engineers, there was niggas who knew, okay, we got to use this big lens to melt down this stuff and get it in liquid form. Then we got to transport it up this place, melt it down again so we can get it up the hill. Then we got to get it where it's got to go, melt it down. Maybe they had 20 giant lenses. 20 of these lenses, these magnifying glasses, 30 feet long to tilt at the angle of the sun to heat up this shit enough to put whatever they put in front of it is going to melt. And that's how they built the bricks for the pyramids. It wasn't magic levitation because of, whatever you think it was. Just go take a engineering class. Go to the union and take an electrical theory class. You'll learn all about AC motors and how that shit work. It ain't magic. It's not magic. It's just you take a copper wire, you coil it, and if you coil it big enough and you run wires that's big enough and more and powerful enough that can conduct the electricity, you can make power travel from one place to another. That's how it works. It ain't magic. You shouldn't be dismayed at it because you could learn about it. But a lot of people don't take the time to learn about things. They just be amazed at it. Just take some time to learn about the cycles of the sun and the moon, and you'll find out that eclipses are natural occurrences. If you do something, if you cycle with something long enough, eventually the cycle repeats itself. So if you start out the earth and the moon and the sun and they all spinning, eventually it's going to come a time when they line up. It ain't special. It ain't God. It's just, the cycle of things. The springtime just started today. After a while, it's going to get really hot. It's going to be really hot and dry, and the sun is going to be high in the sky every day. It's going to be hot. Then after a while, it's not going to be so hot no more. The days are going to start to get shorter, and it's going to start to get cooler outside. Then the days going to start to get shorter. The sun going down to about 7:30 now. In a little while, the sun going to start going down about 6:30. Then it's going to start going down about 5:30. You're like, damn, it's going to get a little bit colder, and days ain't going to be so hot. The sun ain't going to be so high in the sky no more. Then before you know, it's going to get real cold outside. Ooh, it's going to be cold, and there's going to be snow coming down and rain, and man, it's windy out here. And then before you know it, guess what? It's going to start getting warm again, and the day's starting to get longer, and the sun is hot. Nigga, that's life on Earth. That's the seasons changing. That ain't the seasons changing, ain't God moving in your life. It's the seasons changing. Some of you should look up seasonal depression. I didn't know seasonal depression was a thing until about 3 years ago. Being in the truth, my life was consumed with going to school, going to camp, going to school, going to camp. Then there comes a time when I was living on the East Coast where it starts to get cold outside and the sun starts going down early. And we don't really do camp at night a lot. So there's a time that comes when we just stop going to camp because it's too cold. The camp is getting clipped. And so my life cycle of school and camp comes to a halt. And I'm no longer going to camp. And I find myself going out more. And I'm at the bar and I'm drinking more. And I'm looking for something to do. And I'm bored and don't really feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I get to questioning myself and what am I doing, man? Should I have left that job? Man, I should be making more money at this time. Man, I should be doing this and that. Man, I ain't got no bitches. Where the women that ain't no ladies? What's going on? It took me 10 years in the truth to realize I'm I'm depressed in the winter because I ain't doing what I'm normally doing. I ain't going to camp on the weekends. I'm not doing my routine. So I get depressed in the wintertime because I feel like my life ain't really lifing. Because it's not. Because I ain't got the release of going to camp and speaking and blazing. And that carnally it's such a rejuvenating thing. It makes you feel you're full of life and you're full of purpose. And man, we blazed on them crackers and got the boot kiss. And man, Jake tried to battle us with the Quran, and we was man, the Muslims was out there selling drugs. They was mad that we was speaking against their religion. Man, the spring and the summer and the fall be off the chain in the truth, because there be so much action. Then the wintertime coming, we ain't going to camp, and it's like, man, what's going on? What are we doing? Without not acknowledging that the wintertime throws me off from my routine in life that makes me feel fulfilled, I didn't recognize that I was depressed because of the winter. And I'm talking about, y'all, I promise y'all, for years, I dealt with seasonal depression and thought I never could pin it down that this is what was happening. It wasn't until I moved down here to the South that I got away from camp, period, because we ain't been doing a lot of going to camp because the school ain't got built up enough down here, that I realized that I'm really depressed when I ain't going out to speak every week. It's really draining. It's hard to live and see all these horrible things going on in the world, and I don't get to talk about them. I got like moving here made me realize that, oh, I'm depressed when I ain't doing the work of the Lord. That's what that is. I just recently acknowledged that I go out on Saturdays because I'm used to going out on Saturdays. My whole life, I've been in the truth. I'm going out on the streets speaking every Saturday. So when the weekend rolls around, I'm uncomfortable being in the house. I don't want to be here. I got to get out. I got to go somewhere. I'm leaving this place. I don't know where I'm going. I got to get out of here. I just realized that that is about me needing to be out at camp, needing to be out speaking. I don't know what it's like to be in a house on a Saturday, because for the last 10 years of my life, I'm never in a house on a Saturday. So by not going to camp, I'm not recognizing, damn, I should be at camp right now. But my body is, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I can't sit in this house. I gotta get out. It's Saturday. I gotta do something. And because we ain't been going to camp, I'm going to the spot. I'm going to the bar. I'm finding out what's popping. I'm calling cats from work. What y'all doing today? I got to get somewhere on a Saturday. I got to get out the house. It took a conversation with my rib, like a woman do. Why you always leaving? Where you going? What you doing? Where you at? Can I come? Why can I come? And it's like, you can't go with me. It's Saturday. I got to get out of here. You can't be with me. Why? Because women don't go to camp. You ain't coming to me speak. Get away from it. I'm Saturday. I got to get out of here. I didn't realize until a few weeks ago. Damn, that's because my whole life I've been going to camp on Saturday. I can't sit in the house on Saturday. Friday night, damn near the same thing. I slave on Friday night, so I be the slavery, but I cannot sit still. I gotta get out of here. I gotta go out. I can't wait to get back to going to camp. I cannot wait to get back to being able to speak. I feel like a lot of the things that I struggle with, they're going to go away once I'm able to get back to the life that I know. You know what I'm saying? And I've tried to substitute it with, doing podcasts and radio shows, and I, get on here and go live sometimes and talk about stuff. But really, I need to be out there on the street speaking. I need to be out there blazing and prophesying, because that's the life that I know. That's the only life that's fulfilling for me. But it takes understanding, it takes gaining knowledge and information to know these things. But don't be dismayed at the signs of heaven. It's not the wintertime makes me, I get out of my routine. I'm not doing the things I'm used to doing. Everything slows down. It's cold, it's dark early, and it's a shitty time of year. But it ain't the winter that does it. It ain't the winter. So it's just life. You gotta understand, you gotta educate yourself and be aware of these different occurrences and how they can affect you, so that you can know that it's not something spiritual. It's not God. Everybody understands. Let me drop that. Let me get Psalms chapter 2, verse 1. All right, let's get the book of Psalms chapter 2, verse 1. All right, so that was Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1 and 2. We're gonna get Psalms chapter 2, verse 1. All right. Most High in Christ, Most High in Christ. You know what I'm saying? Let's get Psalms chapter, this is the book of Psalms chapter 2, verse 1. Psalms chapter 2, verse 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Why do the people rage? Why are the people in an uproar? Why are the people all amazed and shocked? And why is the earth stirring about? And the people imagine a vain thing. They believe it in something that is nothing. Here's why. Verse 2. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointing, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. The heathen want to break free from the knowledge of God. They don't want to be bound by understanding. They don't want to be bound by making sense of these things. They want to be amazed at the signs of heaven. They want to be shocked at the winter solstice and the summer solstice and the spring equinox. They want to be amazed at the solar eclipse. They don't want you to tell them that, yeah, that shit happens every few years because of the cycles of the earth and the moon and the sun. They don't want to hear the science behind it. They just, niggas, shut up. It was 2.5 minutes 7 years ago, about to be 4.5 minutes now. God is moving. They want to believe that. Because why? The real knowledge of God forces you to have to change your behavior. They don't want to know that you should stop smoking weed. You should stop being a whore. Maybe it ain't it's that you're a Scorpio. Maybe you're just a hoe. Maybe you were molested as a young girl, or it could be a lot of things. Maybe you're an alcoholic. Maybe you're an alcoholic is the reason why you do the things that you do. Maybe maybe it has nothing to do with anything else. But people they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear sound knowledge. They don't want, the actual answers. A lot of times people want to wonder. Like, they don't want the truth. They are very, very comfortable in believing what makes them free. And that's what people ultimately want. They want to be free. They want the freedom to do whatever they want with whoever they want, whenever they want. They want the freedom to pout and to cry. They want the freedom to whine. They want the freedom to, feel like somebody has attacked them or done something wrong. The worst thing you could do to somebody who's sad and broken down and in the midst of their, wallowing, is to make them accountable, hold them accountable for the role they played in being where they are. The worst thing you could tell a woman who's broken up with her man is, bitch, that's your fault. She don't want to hear that. If you, as a man, if you want to see, if you want to run a woman off, you meet a woman and you think, man, she's bad, she fine, and then you find out that she got a good job, she working, she got a good head on her shoulders. Why is she single? Ask her about her previous relationship and what made it come to an end. And don't just say, what was your previous relationship like? Actually get to the bottom of why they broke up. And when you get this information from this woman and find out what the story was, I guarantee you it'll be her fault. Now, it might be he cheated on me. He did this and that. Ask her, so were you mad that he cheated or because he lied to you about it? Well, when you met him, did he have a girl? Okay, so when y'all was dealing with each other for 8 months, but y'all didn't get no relationship till after then. But during the 8 months, did you have other men? No, okay, but you knew he had other women, right? Yeah, and you didn't care that he had just had a baby 4 months ago. No, so hold on. When you was dealing with him for 8 months, you knew he had a woman pregnant, right? And then, okay, so the baby was born. Okay, so did you think that after the baby was 4 months old, he would stop dealing with her mother and only be with you? Why did you think that? Okay, but okay, let's say you was the woman who was pregnant and y'all that, y'all whatever the situation is, and then after 4 months he tell you that he met somebody he dealing with. Would you stop dealing with him because he your bet? Okay, like, what did you think? You met a man who had a woman who was pregnant. Did you think he would leave her and not deal with her at all when they just made a baby together? You're a clown. Why would you expect that? Tell her she's a clown. Tell her that her expectations were unrealistic. She dealt with a man who she knew had a baby on the way. Why would she think that that man would stop dealing with the mother of that child? Why are you mad that he's over there with her and the baby? The baby was 4 months old when you decided to be his woman. Of course he's going to be there. So y'all broke up because he kept spending time with his baby mother? Okay. Okay. Well, that's your fault because you got in a relationship with a man who you knew had a baby on the way, and you just thought he was gonna not be around the baby's mother. That's ridiculous, woman. You were grown. What you like? Okay, so let's say he wasn't ever around the baby mother and around the baby. Would you have been cool with that? No, he can't be a deadbeat. You don't want no deadbeat man around. So you wanted him to be around his child, but he couldn't be around the mother. What sense does that make? Yeah, no, it just sounds like you was being extremely selfish and inconsiderate. Tell her that and see if the bitch don't curse you out and tell you ain't shit and fuck all men and then disappear from your life forever. Dude, because she don't want to be told the truth. She don't want to be told it was her fault. She don't want to be told that she got to take accountability. Tell a brother who is a drug addict that you keep having these problems on because you keep getting high. That's why you're in these situations. You're not listening to counsel. You're not doing what you're told to do. You keep getting high. You keep getting drunk and doing what you think is best. That's why this is your situation. And see if he'll take the counsel. See if he'll say, damn, you know what? Man, Salaki, you right. I've been fucking up. And then now he got to deal with that. Get it together now. Fix your problem. A lot of people don't want that. That's not good for them. They want to hear, oh man, he left you. Oh, that's messed up. He was cheating. Oh, sis, that's messed up. Yeah, some of these men, they be dirty, down low and dirty. They be grimy. And she'll put your penis in her mouth if you tell her that. You just free her of the responsibility of having to take take responsibility for her actions. She will put your penis in her mouth. And shame on you if you do that. Because now in a little while, she'll leave you and it'll be your fault. You took advantage of her when she was vulnerable. You met her when she was depressed, and you knew she was depressed because surely we all know when someone's depressed. And you had sex with her and took advantage of her because she didn't know what she was doing because she was so depressed. That the people imagine, the heathen imagine a vain thing, and they want to break free from being responsible to God. They want to break free from having to live their life a certain kind of way because these are the rules and this is what is expected of you. They don't want to hear none of that shit. They don't care about none of it. They want to do their thing, and you're just really stopping them from being free. And it's unfortunate, but that's a lot of people you're going to encounter with the truth. You'll have all the solutions to all their problems, but they'll have to, restrict them in some kind of way, and they don't want that. Everybody understands. This is Psalms chapter 2, verse 4 now. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord, there's a lot of people, man. The Lord laugh at them. Laugh at their problems, laugh at their situation because that's what you get. And I know people on the outside, I know they think that we're cruel in the truth because we absolutely laugh at people's pain. Not laugh like ha ha ha, but laugh like, what did you think was going to happen? What outcome did you expect doing that? You thought that you were going to win? You're joking. They think we cruel because if you follow any logical progression on the path that you was on, how could you not be dead or in jail or a single baby mama or on child support? Nigga, you couldn't see the play 5 years ago. That bitch lined you up, my nigga. You didn't know you was gonna be on child support with 2 kids with a 4 and a 2-year-old. You didn't see that 5 years ago, my nigga. How could you not? Clearly, she lined you up. We're not laughing at you. It's just, where you from? Where you was? Who raised you? Where was your uncles at? My nigga, where was your brothers? I know my daddy wasn't there neither, but you ain't had no uncles, no cousins, no brothers to tell you, dog, that she a hoe. Leave that bitch alone. You fighting niggas over this bitch? The nigga knocked you out in front of your kid. Like, come on, dog. I can't feel bad for you, my nigga. I can't. You played yourself. And it's not necessary. I thank the Lord for the truth. There's no excuse for any brother to be a sucker for a woman in 2024. Especially not if you in the truth. You did what? Hold on. So hold on. You met her, she said what? Okay, so she told you that. And what you thought? Did you thought she was joking? That wasn't you didn't see that and be like, yeah, I'm running. No, that's unfortunate. It's too bad. You should have known then. That was it's certain things that you shouldn't have to go through it when you have people in your life that can just tell you, no, don't do that. I'm one of them. I'm saying this as a man who absolutely did things and then went when it didn't work out, went to get counsel, and the counsel was like, hold on, what? I thought I told you something. Concert, but but that's what you like. What you want me to do? Why you calling me? Stop calling my phone, If you're not gonna do what I told you to do, then get off my phone. And I had to hear that, like, Con, you right, Con Salaki. I'm a clown. I played myself. That's what I get. What did I think was gonna happen? I don't know. I don't know what I thought was gonna happen, but clearly I am a clown. And it wasn't until I learned and understood after some years that that was goofy. I can't do that. I understood then the laugh that I heard on the other end of the phone. I used to hear that laugh and be like, this shit ain't funny, bro. Like, why is this nigga laughing at me? But no, you're going against counsel, like you're going against the Lord. You thought you was gonna win going against the Most High. Nah, brother, that's not how this works. You don't win that way. That's the truth. Everybody understands. Psalms 2 and 4. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure. Everybody understand? That's the signs of the times. That's the midlife crisis that you go through. That's the time in your life where things aren't working out the way that you thought they was going to work out, and you don't know what you're going to do or how you're going to progress or which way you're going to move. That is the Lord trying to get your attention. When you're in derision, when you're suffering, when things aren't going your way, those are the signs of the times that you got to get your life together and turn to the Most High. It's not going to be the return of the cicadas. It's not going to be the eclipse in the sky on April 8th. It's the hell that your life is in because you don't have any guidance. You don't have any instruction. You don't know what you're doing. And so things aren't working out for you. The beautiful thing is it's never too late for you to get that guidance, get that direction, and to learn what it is you're supposed to be doing. You can only get those answers here at the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. And with that, the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York, since 1969, we've been teaching so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And in the year 2023, there's nothing more important than for God's chosen people to learn the truth of who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is on the earth. We had these classes here in Memphis from 6 to 8 p.m., Monday through Friday. You know what I'm saying? The address is 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. The calling number to the school is 901-249-0085. Again, 901-249-0085. You brothers and sisters that's tuning in, if you got family, loved ones, people you care about in the Memphis, Tennessee, and surrounding areas, get them in contact with the ISUPK. With that, we'll see y'all for class tomorrow. Shalom, Israel.